Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and today I'm pleased to welcome Douglas Meier. He is the host of the new podcast, The Bottom Line, or blog, actually, Yacht Industry News. How are you, Douglas?
I'm great. How you doing?
Good, and you are also a captain.
I am a captain, and we're on the boat right now, actually.
Yeah, and you're
So,
headed off to a big charter.
yeah, we got a last minute trip, and we're putting everything together and getting things going and getting on the road. So,
Well, and for all of those that know anything about charters, if it's a last minute charter, you are a very busy man, and there's a ton of things that are going to happen. And if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong right now.
exactly. We'll be fine. I have a good crew. We're very experienced at what we do. It's just the last minute stuff is always crazy for charter.
Well,
On
you know
my
what's
show.
exciting is that charters are happening now, finally. So that's good news.
Yeah, actually, the phone's starting to ring again, so that's like really good news. Matter of fact, I think as an industry, it's way on the uptick. I can tell you that from over here. I don't know what some other areas are doing, but my phone's ringing off the hook. So, COVID, no COVID, go, don't go. I don't know, but everybody still wants to go out on a boat. By the way, it's still the safest place to be.
It is. It is for sure. I mean, when you take a look at any other form of travel, I mean, when you're talking airlines, etc., the exposure rate is huge. Whereas when you're on a yacht, you're pretty much isolated.
Yeah, I can't see anybody getting the COVID sitting off an island in the Exumas or something for a couple of days. I mean, we're anchored off deserted islands, so I'm not even sure where you would even get it.
Yeah,
So,
well, and
yeah,
I mean, at the beginning of 2020, all stats showed that 2020 was going to be an absolute epic year for the yachting industry. And then, of course, COVID hit, and everything sort of died off, and people started getting a bit frantic. But from the sounds of it, and talking to quite a few people throughout the industry, as soon as things started to loosen up a bit, it kicked in pretty quick.
yes, it did, and we're being very proactive. We have 5 or 6 steps in place every time we go out on charter to make sure everything's perfect. As far as sanitizing and cleaning the boat, as far as getting tested, as far as we actually the whole crew hate me, but we walk around with masks all day, just to keep things safe. So yeah, I think yachting in general is going to have a good year. I think a big problem that a lot of captains and owners are dealing with is getting around the new norm, so to speak.
Yeah.
Until this thing gets out of here and we find some way to get rid of it, we're going to have to work around it. Life goes on, and millionaires still want to be on boats, and we all still want our jobs. So we're all doing what we can.
Well, you know what? You make the best of any situation. When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade or gin and tonic with a slice of lemon. Who knows?
Yes, absolutely. Only when I'm driving.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, you know what? The reason we have you on here today actually is not only for your knowledge, but during the crisis and while everybody was shut down, you came up with a great idea to start this program called The Bottom Line. And it was all about yacht industry news. And this was what? I mean, you're now on your 16th episode. So this was about 16 weeks ago.
Yeah, we're actually 17 just went out. So we're all shut. The boat's all shut down. I have the crew in place, and over here in the U.S. we went on lockdown. And about 2 weeks in, looking for something to do. Um, a lot of people in the industry, old crew, they come up to me and they ask me questions. Is this right? Is this wrong? Is this the way the boat should be run? Should I worry? Stuff like that. It's just when you get a little older, you move into a mentoring role, which I don't like. I'd rather be the guy still, doing transatlantics. But so I actually told my son, I said, hold my phone. And he says, why? What are we going to do? I said, I don't know what we're going to do. And Carrie, a friend of mine, she also works for me. Uh, I'm like, I want you to stand next to me. And she's like, why? I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's just do this for fun. And we did it. And I said, well, I'm going to put it up on my Facebook page. And I just picked some of the questions the crew have asked me over the years, and I think it's because everybody was on lockdown, but there was a huge response, and we've been going. The show's been getting better and better every week. It's been amazing. It's crazy. I don't think this would have happened if we didn't have a lockdown over here. Get everybody's attention. So.
Do you think part of it is that the industry in general really enjoys having somebody to mentor them? There's a lot of questions that crew have coming in. They don't really have access to people like yourself that have been in the industry for many, many years and have the experience. Do you think maybe that's part of the draw?
I think part of the draw is before the internet, we would be sitting down in some island like Antigua, or the crew could not communicate with each other. And I saw once the internet took off, crew are communicating more. How much are you making? How much should I ask for? Where are you? Oh, I'm on the other side of the harbor. In the past, it was a very isolated job, and now it's not. Now, the one thing I think that still isn't there is somebody to speak up for the industry, and apparently, that's what everybody likes about this. And I do make fun of a lot of people. I make fun of captains. I make fun of captains. I make fun of owners. I make fun of crew members and their jobs and all that other stuff. And I think I think people like it. And I'm also getting information out. It's good. I actually, you know what? I have no idea why everybody likes this. I have no clue.
Well, maybe it's because it's missing in the industry.
It could be. And I talked to the owners about this, and I have a real job. And I'm like, look, I'm going to shut this down. COVID's over. And like, no, we want you to move it onto the boat. And yachting needs this. And I get about 50, 60 emails or PMs a week with questions or, hey, thank you. I get shout outs from Australia, the UK, up in your neck of the woods in the Mediterranean, Brazil. There's some countries Switzerland, I can't even pronounce some of them. So everybody likes it, so we're going to do it. It's for real. It's happening.
So in the past, I mean, originally when I first started, it was really the US based. Are you planning on expanding it worldwide and just making it more of an industry as a whole worldwide type of show? As
this progresses, the umbrella that I cover is going to go worldwide. I've already started. I get the news pretty much like everybody else does. Maybe I look for it more than other people. Some people just wait for it to happen on Facebook. I go out and look for it, and I think we're going to have a global umbrella and to cover everything. The reach that the show's getting is insane. I mean, as far as distances go. So, yeah, global. It's going to go global, and I have to be very careful because I've been a captain a long time, and I used to run red flag boats, and all our crews were British, and a lot of my humor resides from the British side. That dry humor. So I've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Talking about the British or talking about the Italians or talking about the French or talking about the Americans. But I think I can handle it.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I think humor is relative, and the world is lacking a lot of that at the moment. So maybe that is part of what is a big draw for you.
British humor, everybody loves, and I strongly believe that that's where my humor came from. And I haven't had. Let's put it this way: I haven't had one complaint, even when I made fun of the French. But of course, we sailed across the ocean and we made it. What's the problem? And then the British. Well, the breeze came up, but we decided to press on anyway. And it's just I've had a global career. I've mixed around with just about every nationality of yacht crew, so I think I can do this without stepping on too many toes. I've already stepped on them years ago.
Well, and you're a captain now. It doesn't matter, right?
I can't do Canadian, though.
That's all right. You got me here for that.
What's that all about?
Yeah, well, you know what's funny is that a boot, that is the one big thing that everybody makes fun of us Canadians for. And ironically enough, I don't think there's a single Canadian I have ever heard say a boot that way. So it's just something that has sort of come out of the ether.
I've spent a lot of time in Nova Scotia, and we actually,
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah, Nova
I have a lot of
Scotia,
respect
the
for,
Eastern.
yeah, I have a lot of respect for those fishermen, and they're the greatest
Oh, yeah.
people on the planet. And we actually put a highlight on a Novi fisherman who wanted to break into yachting a couple episodes ago. We had to set him straight on a couple of things, like he's looking for a 420 friendly yacht. That's not going to happen. But yeah, like I said, we're reaching all over the place.
Well, I mean, Canada, really, traditionally, Canada, there's not a lot of people that come out of Canada into the yachting industry because in the past it hasn't been a big thing. I mean, just a year ago, I was in Kelowna for a yacht show and I was talking to some of the industry people there, and they were saying there was like maybe 2 or 3 charter yachts in all of the country. So
A
when
lot.
you talk about that kind of thing, it's just not, it's now starting to come to light. We've now got Victoria Marina that is, able to cater to super yachts. But in the past, we just didn't have it. So the industry didn't really exist. And now it's slowly starting to come to light, and you're starting to come across a few more Canadian yachties, but it just wasn't an industry.
Oh yeah, my last boat that I ran into with any sort of connection was a good friend of mine was running it. It was a 45-meter sailboat. He was German, and the owners were Canadian. And then the crew was everything from South African to Australian to New Zealand to American. I mean, it was the most diverse boat you'd ever see. But it was a great boat, and they built it in Canada too, actually. Uh, uh,
Oh,
Canada has a very rich boat building heritage, mostly on the eastern side. But
yeah.
I suspect there's more out there than you think. They're probably just not flying the flag, like the Americans. We don't fly our flag for some reason. I don't understand that.
So what was the most popular show that you've done so far?
That's actually the one where I dressed up as a captain and made fun of captains. And
Excellent.
yeah, that's we keep pretty good score on our views, and that one is almost double. Uh, I dressed up as a captain. Unfortunately, down here in Lauderdale, everybody's a captain. If you go to a bar, if you fall on the floor, you're going to hit 2 or 3 captains on the way down. Of course, until they're looking for a job, then they're not a captain anymore. So I made a lot of fun of captains on that episode. I've done it on a couple, but that one, everybody's responding back. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so fun that you can make fun of captains. Like I said, we make fun of everybody. And
Equal opportunity.
yes, yes, it's a fun show, and people like it, and I like doing it, and I think it's something that the industry needs. Whether down the road some big wig comes in and does it on a higher level or not, I think everybody wants it, especially now with everything that's going on. Everybody needs a laugh, and like I said before, the old days you would go to a bar and you trade stories. Like, oh, you believe my captain was drunk and we got underway, or something like that. Now we have the internet trading stories, but nobody is actually on a platform or doing what I'm doing, actually telling the stories so everybody can hear what's going on. And I think that's why everybody likes it. We
Well, you had a great response. I mean, it's not just those that are watching. You've already had sponsors come to you and say, hey, we want to be part of this and we want you to continue and we want to support you.
I had Dennison Yacht Sales. I had Marine Data Solutions, which provides is a big internet company here. Gosling's Rum, and then of course now what I'm getting is all these smaller mom and pop shops. Oh, we want to. What can we do? What can we do? And you'll see that I do a couple of those too. And they're like, what can we? How much is it? I'm like, look, just send me some stuff. My house is full of stuff right now. Swag, because what we're also trying to do is help everybody else out. This isn't about money. Um, the bigger companies, it's great because we have to buy microphones and we have to buy steady cams and we have to do all this other stuff. It's nice to help out with that. So literally the show can keep going.
Right.
But I don't even know how that. I don't even know how that transpired. I really don't. We're getting on an average. It's super crazy. The show comes on at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays, and in an hour we have 500 views. In 24 hours, our last show it'll hit 2,000 views in 5 hours, and I think we're up to 5,000 views right now. And then when that show comes out, the other shows the views are going up. We're hitting. I think we're hitting about 10 to 15% of the yachting industry, and that's crazy. My last show, I joked around. I said, "It's like, hey, we're number one." And and Casey's like, "Well, how many others are there? In Fort Lauderdale?" I'm like, "No, we're the only one." But it's nuts. It's nuts. This is a real response, and this is here to stay now.
Do you know what? I mean, that's usually how it happens. You sort of find this niche that you didn't expect to be there because you wanted to do something fun and it was about, from your heart and from who you were, and what you enjoyed. And I think sometimes when it's something you enjoy to do, the rest of the world sort of follows along. So congratulations to you for such, a great response.
Um, it's crazy. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the glory. I did it a couple of times. Everybody loved it. I'm doing it for everybody. And that's why we also give shout outs to the little companies, without just, hey, tell me what you're selling, tell me what you got. Because I want to be part of the yachting community, global yachting community. Everybody has their favorite news channel. Everybody has their favorite TV show. I don't consider Below Deck part of our industry. Okay. But I consider us to be part of the industry, and it's great. Like I said, I think we're reaching 10 or 15% of the yacht crew out there total, and we're only on Facebook. We're not on YouTube. We're not on Instagram. We're not on whatever else platforms they're supposed to be. So I think we're doing okay.
But I think we have some great news on that regard.
What's that?
Well, to let our viewers and listeners know, we are going to be hosting The Bottom Line with Doug. And we are going to be bringing it to YouTube. We are going to be bringing it to Instagram. So we're going to have it and podcast format, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be another 12 different platforms that are going to be hosting your show within the next, well, actually this weekend, we're going to start airing from episode 1. It's going to be all Doug all weekend this week on Yachting International Radio.
That sounds
So they're going to have to love you.
that alone just sounds strange. And first of all, I want to say I'm really excited about this. This is great. I am very excited about this partnership. It's awesome. But I have to tell you, it's very strange for you to say that we're doing a marathon of you on Saturday. I get text messages. I just binge watched you, and I'm like, I text back, I'm like, well, that takes about 30 minutes, maybe a little longer. It's weird, and the hardest. That's the great part, because if I'm doing it, I want everybody to be happy with it. That's it. Bottom line, because it does take a lot of effort. I mean, this is like a 15-minute. This is like a 7 or 8 minute show, and this takes like days to do.
Yeah.
Because I got to figure out what we're going to do, and we got to do it. And we always do things on one take. Everybody says, "Oh, you only did it in one take." Well, no, that's just the one take that we kept.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited about this, our relationship, and I think it's going to be awesome. And thank you very much for helping me out with this. Like I said, the more people we can get out there, get this out to, the better. I'm here for them. That's the only reason. I'm not making a nickel on this. This is a give back to your industry type deal.
Well, you know what? It's the same for YR. I mean, the whole point that we're here is to provide a platform for the voice of future generations and to bring the community together with many different shows. And yours is just one more of the amazing voices that we do have on this platform. So we're very thrilled to have you as part of it.
Thank you. I'm thrilled too. It's going to be great. It's going to be
Yeah,
great.
for sure. Well, you know what? I know you've got this charter coming up and you've got a lot going on in the background. We've been having a hard time getting a hold of each other today. So, Douglas, I thank you ever so much. Or shall I call you Captain Meier?
You can call me Doug. You
Well, Doug, thank you.
You got to watch the show because those captains that insist on being called captains usually are not captains.
Well, I mean, there are some. I know a few that do insist on being called captain, and yeah, but those are the ones that I rarely speak to. So sometimes there is an ego that goes along with that. I'm sure you know. You've come across a few of those, and I'm sure you make fun of a few of those as well.
I, um, I was fortunate enough to take over my first yacht, 106 footer, when I was 26 years old.
Wow.
I'm ex-Coast Guard, and back then, if you didn't know celestial navigation, you weren't. I was driving a global boat. You needed celestial to get across the ocean, and back then nobody had it. So I was lucky enough to get that job based on that fact. But for years, I was the youngest crew member on board. Yeah, people would come. I know you got to go. I'll give you a quick story. If I'm hiring somebody in the old days, we put the flyers out in some island, and so I'd sit up on deck, and I've had crew come up and go, "I'm here for the interview." I'm like, "Okay, hold on a second. Hey, tell me, how's the captain? Is he a real prick?" I'm like, "Well, I'd like to think he's cool, you know." "Well, listen, dude, I got to get this job. What should I say to him?" I'm like, "I don't know. Hold on a second." And I go downstairs. I come back up and I go, "Hey, how you doing? I'm the captain." And usually that didn't go over well, but so I never had the chance to get this big ego. What I was always doing was trying to make myself a little bit more like I am the captain. I'm the youngest guy on board, but I'm the captain. Trust me, and it's good. You'll be fine. So I never had that chance to get the big ego. And some people say I should get a license. I'm not sure. Uh, People talk about captain's licensing all the time. I'm going to look into that. I think I might need one. I'm joking. You can come.
As long as you're not caught, hey? Right?
Now, the Coast Guard's asking me, the insurance company's asking me, the owner's asking me. I don't know, I'll figure it out. Do me a
Yeah,
favor,
yeah,
cut all
yeah,
that
I'm
out. Cut
sure.
all that out.
I ain't cutting nothing
Okay,
out.
listen, I am super excited about what we're doing. Super excited about the bottom line. It's going great. I'm so happy that I can give something back to my yachting community, and I'm super happy that we're going to be working together. All I can say is, whatever we need to do to keep this going and keep the crew happy, whatever they want to see, I'll get it done.
Wonderful. Well, you know what? We're going to make sure to provide all of your links because you now have a new Facebook page. It's not your personal page anymore. It is actually called The Bottom Line on Facebook. So people, if they've got questions, they can go there and they can send you a message and ask whatever questions they want. As well, they can always send them right here to us at Yachting International Radio, and we will just send them on to you. So it's just another way of sort of participating in the show and getting those questions answered that people always wanted to ask.
And I'm very approachable. If the writers don't answer the questions, and then the receptionist or my staff, my entourage, if they don't get to the questions, it actually bumps back to another group of people I have in the background to get it done, the production team. So
Right. Yes.
sooner or later, they're going to get a standard form response.
And is that your 17-year-old son?
That's my seven. Yes, everybody I just talked about was my 17-year-old son.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's very
He's
busy
also
though.
the costume designer as well, isn't he?
He was a cameraman for a while until he couldn't hold it up anymore. Then we bought a tripod.
But wasn't he the one that suggested the whole banana suit as well?
Yes.
Yes. See, he's kind of multitasking, that boy. I
That,
think maybe you should start paying him.
yeah, that was a playoff Family Guy, a show he likes to watch.
Yeah.
See, so yes, I'm taking my direction from a 17-year-old kid.
Do you know what? I have to be honest with you. Sometimes that generation are the ones we should be taking direction from because I swear to God, I'm pretty sure that they are a lot smarter than we are at this stage.
Yes. So if anybody ever gets a response to an email, it just says "bruh." Okay, I don't even know what that means, but that was bruh or
That's your
dude.
17-year-old,
Yeah, it's my
right?
17-year-old.
Do you
We're
know
all
what?
good.
I still respond to people saying dude. So,
Oh,
anyways, Doug, I have to say it's been an absolute pleasure to host you here on Yachting International Radio, and we're going to have you back after your charter at some stage, and we can see how crazy the 2-day charter that sort of happened out of thin air went.
yeah, it's my own fault. I discounted. I wanted to get the boat moving, so I'm never discount.
Well, we'll have to talk about your charter yacht at a later date as well, because hey, why not get some business out of this as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That'll make the owners happy. I get to keep my job because that's the paying one.
That's right, for sure. Well, Doug, I thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you have a great charter, and come back and let's chat again in the future.
Sounds like a plan. I'm here. Like I said, I'm very approachable. My whole writing staff. All right. Well, hey, it was great. It was great talking to you. I hope everybody likes the show, and I'm here. We're going to keep going with this.
Wonderful. Once again, you've been watching another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I have been your host. Tune in again for another episode.
Ta-ta.